Rami, Salaam, L. Is this who I'm supposed to be beefing with? I've been set up, man. The fight is fixed, man. For those that may not be aware, the brother on the right is Taj Tariq Bey. He is without a doubt one of the most knowledgeable brothers I have ever had the honor to meet and build with. Bow!
Um, Eric gonna get him.
Bow!
Oh,
Yeah, dude. Boy,
yeah, who's Eric? That's a little scary. Islam,
Bow.
Empress.
They told you.
Eric gonna get him. Oh. Yeah, who's Eric? That's a little scary. Islam,
Scary. Yeah,
Empress,
scary.
Israel.
Scary. So the stateless Moor, Rami Salaam L. Did your mama name you that? Just honestly, like these names, like Tahaka Bay, like are your mom really naming you that? Because y'all be talking this prophet, and the prophet said don't change your name. So before I even get started on him, because he mentioned U.S.A.R, show us proof on your birth certificate and social security card, since you got one. I already got you, right? That's your name. That you ain't changed your name or whatever. Cause Rami Salaam, your mom really named you Rami. Stop playing with us, bro. And you were stateless Taj Tariq Bey. We done been put this out there. Him and Sabir, they stateless. We know y'all stateless. Just like you in the temple, you're a resident and you stateless. I'm about to expose you. Bow.
I appreciate it. Just go. This is not about a back and forth. I just told you have a certain time frame. I'm fine with it. Just go to the point of where did Taj and where did Sabir scam somebody at. I can only speak for me. Now I can get Taj on the phone, but I can only speak on Sabir Bey. You follow me? So let me know that part. I'm speaking about Taj. Let me help you out, brother, because I've known Taj for a long time. And I'm gonna be blunt with you. I don't give a fudge about a grand sheik. I'm gonna be real with you. That don't impress me because your grand sheik ain't building and creating not a goddamn thing. I'm just being real with you. Nothing. So if you're not in the hedges and the highways to wake people up, what have you produced as a grand sheik? What books have you produced? What army have you produced? What economics have you produced? I don't give a 747, brother. And I could have been that years ago. I'm not impressed with that, homie. Where's your diplomat people talking to the nations? I don't care. So you coming on a 76-year-old man instead of saying, let me pick up the phone and talk to this 76-year-old man on the phone instead of get on social media because social media making niggas famous. I'm going to destroy every last one of you. That's what I mean by that.
So now wait. He's calling Taj Tariq Bey a fraud, right? And he has his arm wrapped around him. And he's calling him the most knowledgeable brothers that he's ever had the honor to meet. Now, fast forward 2022, because this 2015, he woke up. Now Taj Tariq Bey a fraud. Now he coming to U.S.A.R. Now we a fraud. Now everybody's fraud. He's just temple now. Right? Got him.
Let me ask you, brother, do not go get these nationality cards from these offshoot groups. It is not in your best interest. And I'm saying this because I once was on that path. I was seeking out and I thought that was the way.
Dummy.
But I'm letting you know, don't go that way. In fact, you want to.
So, Rami, back in 2015, he was RV Bayed out. Taj Tariq Bayed out. Right? Look at him. The most knowledgeable brother he ever met. You hear me? Now, 2022, he's a fraud. He's claiming Taj Tariq Bey is a fraud. And what they're teaching at RV Bay publication is a fraud. And now he want to challenge U.S.A.R. And now we frauds. That's where you fucked up, buddy.
What I've learned is I gotta humble myself because I don't know everything.
We can't play church no more.
Bow.
We can't play mosque or temple no more.
Bow. Now, Rami L. This church grand sheik, man. These guys, man. That's why they got to stay on the divine side. He says that the United States is the national government. That's what he said. So, I guess in the temple he in, they don't learn law, right? But I know Noble Ali taught civics, right? Civics, right? Okay. Title 28, right? U.S.C. 3002, Section 15A states that the United States is a federal corporation and not a government. Whoa. Hold up. What did he say? States that the United States is a federal corporation and not a government. Whoa.
It is separate from the United States of America. The actual national government is here in North America. And that government, Noble Ali never referred to as the U.S.A.R. Canon Bay and others created for themselves. No, the government that is referring to in this divine constitution for the Moor Science Temple of America is for the United States of America, the national government.
He says that the United States is the national government. That's what he said. So I guess in the temple he in, they don't learn law, right? But I know Noble Ali taught civics, right? Civics, right? Okay. Title 28, right? U.S.C. 3002, Section 15A states that the United States is a federal corporation and not a government. Whoa. Black's Law Dictionary. National government. The government of a whole nation. As distinguished from that of a local or territorial division of the nation, right? Let's come down, right? A national government is a government of the people of a single state. See why? Because they don't see temple or nation. See, they don't never say temple. That's why they don't like U.S.A.R. Because we got a state government. We a sovereign nation state, right? Now look, go down. A federal government is distinguished from a national government. So how is he saying the United States federal government is the national government when in its creation it's saying it's a federal corporation? Nothing national about it. Bow.
The president of his group, which he calls the U.S.A.R. But that has nothing to do with the teachings that Noble Ali put forth in regards to getting us back to following the laws and the Constitution of the United States of America. It's nothing to do with that. So
After the Constitutional Convention, when asked what type of government they gave us, Benjamin Franklin stated, "A republic, if you can keep it." The American people, a republic, if you can keep it. Okay?
Today we welcome you back in the same spirit of friendship that has joined our two nations since the beginning of the American Republic. Your Majesty, America will never forget.
If you were not well studied, you may think that this website is somehow some lawful part of the United States of America government, the actual free national government on the continent that we know, North America. But it is not. This is its own group that is creating things to cause confusion. Those IDs are not lawful identification cards. That's not any actual state identification card. And you trying to present that to any sort of officer or official or in any sort of lawful or legal capacity, it'll be seen as a fictitious ID. It's not real, it's not lawful, other than
going on? I never walked around with my state of New Jersey ID, bro.
521, okay. The city will accept this as compliant insurance before the date.
And what about the license?
The license is also valid in the province of Wisconsin. This will motion city non-suit on all 4 counts. The other 2 are at fault tickets with no evidence of an accident.
Yeah, okay. So, Mr. Shabazz, all of your counts have been dismissed.
Empress Zariah L. Says that U.S.A.R. licenses are not fake. I mean, you can believe that Empress Zariah L. You can believe that if you wish. Yeah, everyone's entitled to believe what they wish, but just because you believe it, or just because the Canon Bay person says otherwise, or you feel otherwise, that doesn't by itself, your belief doesn't make it a fact or valid or lawful in any way. You know, you can believe it though. You know, feel free to believe what you wish. So what about your nationality? My nationality is Moorish American.
How?
President Cannon is so misunderstood. No, I mean I think I understand. You know what he's preaching and trying to do very clearly from just a little bit of studying I did in regards to his actions.
A little bit.
Now, just making it clear for true Moorish Americans, true Moors, that to not follow individuals like that, because it's not valid, not lawful. It's not what Noble Drew Ali taught. It's not a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No further, you see they even have the quote-unquote license plates, and they got different versions. They got 2 different versions, but it's not legitimate. And it says all identification cards will be reflective of your province.
Were you charged with something?
I was given 3 tickets, one for no insurance, one for not possessing a driver's license, and another one for fictitious plates. And were you given the documents that were in my file that I submitted before the disappearance? They told me that it was in my file and that you would review them.
I don't need to review them. I'm dismissing the tickets, Shantae.
Okay.
I'm dismissing the tickets. You already won. You're arguing to me. You already won. I'm dismissing all of the tickets.
And I appreciate that.
Okay, the Moor Science Temple of America is a religious organization created and founded by Noble Drew Ali. Okay, the Moor Science Temple of America is a religious organization created and founded by Noble Drew Ali.
Again, apparently necessary for me to state once again, not what kind of church I believe in, for that should be important only to me, but what kind of America I believe in. I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute, where no Catholic, not what kind of church I believe in, for that should be important only to me, but what kind of America I believe in. I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute.
Politics depends on our ability to persuade each other of common aims based on a common reality. It involves compromise, the art of what's possible. And at some fundamental level, religion doesn't allow for compromise. It's the art of the impossible. If God's spoken, then followers are expected to live up to God's edicts, regardless of the consequences. Now, to base one's own life on such uncompromising commitments may be sublime, but to base our policy making on such commitments would be a dangerous thing. And if you doubt that, let me just give you an example. We all know the story of Abraham and Isaac. Abraham's ordered by God to offer up his only son. Without argument, he takes Isaac up to the mountaintop, he binds them to the altar, raises his knife, prepares to act as God commanded. Now, we know things work out. You know, God sends down angel to intercede at the very last minute. Abraham passes God's test of devotion. But it's fair to say that if any of us leaving this church saw Abraham on the roof of a building raising his knife, we would, at the very least, call the police and expect the Department of Children and Family Services to take Isaac away from Abraham. We would do so because we don't hear what Abraham hears. We don't see what Abraham sees. And so the best we can do is act in accordance with those things that we all see and that we all hear. The common laws or basic reason. So we have some work to do here. hopeful that we can bridge the gap that exists and overcome the prejudices that all of us to one degree or another bring to this debate. And I have faith that millions of believing Americans want that to happen. No matter how religious they may be or may not be, people are tired of seeing faith used as a tool of attack.
I wonder why I'm supporting Barack Obama. I mean, that speech right there, that short speech, was nothing short of brilliant. I mean, he not only nailed it, but he explained it in a way that was so clear and so fundamental that anybody sitting in that audience had to say, you know what, I guess he's quite right. We can't really impose our values or our faith on other people. We have to see what we all see, what we all hear together. And I can't say, well, I'm seeing this and you're seeing that, and I'm going to impose my faith on you. And he said something that, you know, honestly, I've talked about in the past that I think that is underemphasized, which is, even if we were a Christian nation, which sect? Who gets to impose their values? Is it the Lutherans, the evangelicals, the Methodists? And even within those different branches, is it James Dobson? Is it Al Sharpton? Whose faith do we install? And that's why separation of church and state are so critical, not only just to the American form of government, but also to an orderly process where we all learn to live together.
Why won't you speak with Canon Bay directly? Well, Robert asked me the question, why won't you speak with Canon Bay directly? Well, I mean, the real basic answer is I don't feel it's a need to speak to him directly. What he's doing is his own separate group. And it's clear that he's intentional about trying to cause confusion and trying to associate the Fly Guy. Why everybody be hating on C. Canon Bay? There's no hate at all. You know, I don't know that person, and I don't hate anyone. Just to be clear, this is to clarify for all Moorish Americans, and it's a teaching moment for true Moors and just the general public that this U.S.A.R. group is completely separate from the Moorish Science Temple of America and true Moors and Moorish Americans and the teachings of Noble Drew Ali. That's really all it is. Let me see here. Dude won't speak on none of the cases U.S.A.R. won. All right.
A divine warning by the prophet Noble Drew Ali, right? He sold Noble Drew Ali out, right? Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government, right, are classified as undesirables. So he keeps saying U.S.A.R. The republic is our form of constitutional government. We the republic, man. All rights to the people. Okay, back to the law, right? Back to the law. The de jure states and forms of republics and the de jure United States. Okay? The de jure states in the form of republics. Okay? The prophet says this: it is free national standards and power that makes a man and a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce belong to the citizens alone, and without your national citizenship, by the name and principle, you have no true wealth. And I hereby calling all true citizens that stand for a free national, free government, a national free government, and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. Bow. Goes on, the prophet says, I love my people and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national, state, and divine. Temple, right? I love my people and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national and divine state, temple, national government, temple. Hold on. Then he go on and say, right, national and divine standards, because day by day they have been violating the national, see the separation, and constitutional laws. National, meaning our own state and national government, and constitutional laws, their government, by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. If the Italians, Greeks, and English, and Chinese, and Japanese, and Turks, and Arabians, all of these people got their own government. Is the United States running their government? They got their own government.
I don't have a license from the U.S.A.R. or some sort of driver's license from Harvey Bay Publications or any other of these, for lack of a better term, Moor sovereign citizen type groups, or the Rise of the Moors militia group, or anything like that.
So he got it.
I obey the laws of the government. The government being the United States of America.
United States.
The state of driver's license does not make me a Moorish American. Does not make me a national. You are a resident. A resident. Bow.
We're going to go to court, obviously, because I can't drop the other tickets.
Right.
Because he presented that New Jersey deal.
Right.
Like we talked about, me and you.
I'm saying, once he presented that to me, he's saying that he's a resident of the state of New Jersey, and then that's the problem. Then he has to, because now he's saying even.
So Detective Mike is very clear. If you're a resident, you have to abide by them statutes and codes in any state of that you domicile in. Period.
I don't have a license from the U.S.A.R. or some sort of driver's license from Harvey Bay Publications or any other of these, for lack of a better term, more sovereign citizen type groups.
Who you hear talking is Detective Mike from Homeland Security, and you hear him say he deal with the sovereign people, right? So he came to see me, checked out U.S.A.R, and here's the results. Bow.
It's not fair to you. It's not fair to your family. That's not fair to anybody wasting the court system.
Right.
Maybe in that time they can figure out because you're totally different from the sovereign people.
Right.
Like we explained. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Sir.
Because you're totally different from the sovereign people.
Right.
Like we explained. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Bow. Out the horse's mouth. You're totally different from the sovereign people. You're totally different from the sovereign people.
True Moorish Americans, true Moors, we do not associate with, we do not propagate, promote, support, believe in, or push any of that Moor sovereign citizen ideology. I understand that it can be confusing. I don't have a license from the U.S.A.R. or some sort of driver's license from Harvey Bay Publications or any other of these, for lack of a better term, more sovereign citizen type groups. Eric gonna get him.
Bow.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. William.
Yeah, who's Eric? That's a little scary. Islam Empress. Eric gonna get him. Oh. Yeah, who's Eric? That's a little scary. Islam Empress Zariah L.
Scary.
Noble Ali. And what the Moor Science Temple of America is about, and understanding what they are doing is completely separate from.
I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute, where no Catholic, not what kind of church I believe in, for that should be important only to me, but what kind of America I believe in. I believe in an America where the separation of church and state is absolute.
You are stateless. How are you a national with an allegiance to a temple? Show me the law, please. No. You are stateless. How are you a national with an allegiance to a temple? Show me the law, please. No. You are stateless. How are you a national with an allegiance to a temple? Show me the law, please. No. You are stateless. How are you a national with an allegiance to a temple? Show me the law, please. No. Islam.
Back to the international law. By one rule of international customary law, a person who is born within a state territory and subject to its jurisdiction acquires the state's nationality. The state's nationality by the fact of such birth. So he mentioned he has a driver's license and a birth certificate. So if it ain't from the Moorish states like U.S.A.R, right? A de jure government, bro, you're a resident. 14th Amendment. Bow. The legal basis of right to nationality, Article 20, right? Every person has the right to a nationality. Everybody says that. Every person has the right to a nationality of the state. Of the state. Okay? Despite the fact that it is traditionally accepted that the conferral and recognition of nationality are the matters for each state to decide. Each state to decide. Okay?
Nationality deal with a state government. And it's a meeting of the minds between the individual seeking nationality or citizenship and the state conferring the nationality or citizenship upon the individual seeking it. It's a contractual agreement between the two. Therefore, you doing a proclamation is nothing more than a public announcement. That's all a proclamation is, a public announcement. I keep telling Moors, that's not what Noble Ali told us. That's not what he told us to do. Noble Ali is clear. You must proclaim your free national name in the government in which you live in and the nations of the earth. Okay. Do you live in the Moor-sized Temple of America? No, you don't. Okay. Do you live, when you leave the temple, you go to the temple for service, right? And then you go back to your so-called residence, and your residence is in somebody else's state. Okay? So you have the right now, you have the right and the capability now to be living right smack dab in the middle of everybody else, but you're not a citizen or a resident of the same state or municipality that they under.
You would speak to him, have a clear understanding of what U.S.A.R is, really, because you clearly are confused. No, again, I mean, you could say I'm confused, but I think I have a very good understanding. It's a own separate group that is trying to cause confusion and portray itself as some sort of lawful government. That's why they use that term U.S.A.R, referring to the United States of America Republic. But in fact, it is not a lawful government or a national government. It's not the government for Moorish Americans. It's simply a group that this person created and calls himself the president of.
Today we welcome you back in the same spirit of friendship that has joined our two nations since the beginning of the American Republic. Your Majesty, America will never forget.
Eric B. Moore, which United States, the corporation or the nation? I made it very clear, I'm talking about the national government, the United States of America. I don't do the whole, this is a corporation, this is the da-da-da. That lingo, that sort of ideology comes from Taj Street Bay and others like him that are trying to push that more sovereign citizen ideology and rhetoric. Noble Ali was never talking like that, never taught like that, speaking about the United States of America. It's really that simple.
So, I guess in the temple he in, they don't learn law, right? But I know Noble Ali taught civics, right? Civics, right? Okay. Title 28, right? U.S.C. 3002, Section 15A states that the United States is a federal corporation and not a government. Whoa. Hold up. What did he say? States that the United States is a federal corporation and not a government. Whoa.
The U.S.A.R. Governor Jenkins Bay. I don't see any legitimate questions. So do you have a birth certificate? Well, naturally, I was born in the United States of America. So yes, yes, I do. It's kind of what happened, and I wasn't born outside of a hospital like that, or where it was just recorded in the Bible or some religious book. So yes, I do have a birth certificate. Yes, that's typically what happens when you're born in the United States of America. Yeah.
Residents, every Moor that's in the Moor side symbol of America right now are residents of the state in which they reside. If they are not a national citizen under this national government, they are residents. They're walking around with state IDs. They're walking around with and driving around with state license plates. Their children are being issued birth certificates by whatever state they reside in. Okay?
Oops, and it's low power, so I got to get up off here anyway. Because this wasn't really meant to be some interrogation.
Look, now he's scared.
To answer your question,
don't run.
I'm an American citizen of the United States of America, which
citizen.
Noble Ali has said very clearly, which we are. Or refer to or even use the term U.S.A.R. or United States of America Republic. Noble Ali was speaking on us being better citizens of the United States of America, like all other American citizens.
See the source. American. Now, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored race found here by the Europeans, right? But now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. So when you say, oh, I'm an American citizen, okay. Bow.